Hi, and welcome to Tally Talk. I'm Liv.
And I'm Ben.
And on this episode, you'll hear our carefully considered and not at all random thoughts on a show we like. There will be spoilers.
We're giving ourselves an age rating of 15 and above, but you're welcome to make up your own mind. Listener discretion is advised.
We are covering Death in Paradise, Christmas Special 2025.
Jingle death, killing all the way.
Wow, how long have you been thinking of that?
About 3 nanoseconds.
Oh, okay, it sounded rehearsed.
Thanks.
I was going to say, it's weird saying 2025 already, because what are we, the 6th of January today?
Yeah.
And... yeah, 2026.
Stop pointing out how slow we are.
Whoops. Thing is, they aired this late. Normally it is around Christmas, but they did this around New Year.
And it, not to get ahead of ourselves, it didn't feel the most Christmassy of Christmas specials, did it?
No, it didn't. But I did like that it tied in with Return to Paradise. No, Beyond Paradise.
One of
I
them.
always get them confused.
Yeah, Selwyn spanning across all of the things.
Yeah, because that one came out around Christmas.
Christmas Eve,
and we watched it, and then Selwyn was in it, and then he gets a call from D.I. Mervin, and we're like, oh my god, they're going to connect them. That's so nice.
And they did.
Yeah.
But we will get to that.
Okay.
So this is the 2025 Christmas special. Let me read the episode description.
Okie dokie.
D.I. Mervin Wilson and the team must solve one of their most challenging cases yet, when a man is found shot dead after a raucous office Christmas party.
Yeah.
Raucous.
Have you ever been to a Christmas party in the Caribbean?
No.
No.
Have
it's
you?
It's ridiculous. This is the first thing that doesn't make any, real life sense.
Well, I mean, they do explain it, to be fair, so we'll get to that. So I think we need to start in our time-honoured tradition of setting up the premise.
Okay.
Of, what happened.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, as you said, a company whose name I forgot to... Dugdale Apparel or something.
I always pronounce that apparel.
Apparel. Yeah, well, whatever.
Okay.
It's not what they were... It was like, basically, it's Dugdale, we make any old branded shit you want.
Stuff.
Yeah. Dugdale stuff. They decide, or the owner decides, that they're going to go, all of them except one, to the Caribbean. Yeah. And I'm like, I know where they're going.
Hang on, but they don't make that clear. That poor receptionist. She's like, oh, I'm so excited. I've always wanted to go. Yeah, it's not for you. It's
not for you, love.
It's for the exec team, which is everyone else.
Except you.
Yeah, she's the only one not going.
And we expect you to be in the office while we're gone over Christmas.
Bloody rude.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, they're all going to Saint Marie.
Yep.
For Crimbo.
Yep. Cut to Saint Marie, and what do we find?
Well, they have a big old party, and then they're all very drunk.
Yeah.
And then in the morning...
Dead guy in the pool!
Yeah, there's a guy on a lilo who's been shot through the heart! Well, not quite the heart.
It was the shoulder.
Shot through the shoulder! And that's gonna hurt.
Okay.
And we're back. And everyone's confused because no one's heard this happen. They all say that they were asleep, and there's just some dead guy on their lilo in their pool.
Yeah, and he's sort of, mere feet away from
one of them.
A guy asleep on a hammock.
That would be Gavin, the
Gavin.
graphic designer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and what my first thought was like, how have they shot him and not burst that lilo?
Oh.
And then I was like, well, if they've put him on the lilo, how hard is that? Like, it's hard as a person.
Are you sure there was a lilo?
Yeah, he was floating on a lilo.
Okay.
But, imagine, right? It's quite hard, I think, to get on a lilo yourself. Imagine trying to put a dead body on a lilo.
Yeah.
Dead body on a lilo definitely sounds like an album.
Was it green?
Yeah, sure.
No, but was it?
I don't know.
Right.
I think it might have been blue. Maybe it was turquoise.
You have no idea.
Charming. And we see that Selwyn, the aforementioned Selwyn, rocks up to the UK office that we've seen everyone depart from to go and check it out.
You mentioned that the team arrive.
Which team?
The Saint Marie team.
Well, yeah, obviously they show up to investigate.
Yeah, at Christmas.
Yeah, well, just
Christmas
before.
Eve, isn't
Christmas
it?
Eve, yeah. And they go, this is weird, because no one's heard a shot.
Yeah.
And they, like, Seb quickly identifies that the victim arrived at 5:30 in the morning and just let himself in. And no one else came or went in that time because there's, like, sheer cliff faces on all the other sides of the villa.
Yeah, well, Seb notices this because he watches the CCTV.
With his peepers.
Yes. And because the suspects, are all from the UK, and they're all from one company, the team decide that it would be really useful to connect with UK police. But they're all on Christmas break.
Mervin's like, they'll be too busy.
Yeah, but luckily they do remember that Selwyn's on holiday because he's at the wedding of the old detective.
Hey, bro, I know you don't work for us anymore, and that was kind of, like, contentious, but could you do us a solid?
Yeah, and so he does.
He does.
He's a good fellow.
Yeah, he can't help himself.
Yeah, so Selwyn goes and travels to Swindon?
Swindon.
To the business offices to search them for clues.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really know what he's looking for.
No, and mostly he just wants to not be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you would. And so the victim is a bit of a mystery, right?
Yes, because no one there seems to know who he is.
They eventually figure out he's a local fisherman.
Yeah, but this is weird because none of them knew him. They had that big party. They all went to bed, wake up, dead guy that they don't know in the pool. So it's the victim sort of appears as a standalone character at this point.
I had a bit of a suspicion that it would turn out that maybe some of them did know him.
Ah.
Well, you know, otherwise it'd be really weird.
Yeah.
He is Darian St. Jules. And yeah, like you said, no one claims to know him. But they do eventually discover that there is a bit of a semi-tangible link to an ex-employee of the company.
Yes, well, when Selwyn is looking around their offices, he's going through all the desks of whose desk is that and that and that and that. And then there's a desk that the receptionist doesn't mention about. And he's like, well, whose desk is that?
Ah, well, that would be Ashley Sims, an ex-employee. But she's not relevant because she left it like 2 ages ago.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that won't have any relevance.
Absolutely.
No. And the one other... Well, there's a couple of other important salient points about our victim.
Darian.
The first of, he stinks really strongly of aftershave.
Yeah.
But not the aftershave that I find in his house.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where the DI goes on and on and on about it, and the rest of the team are like, does it really matter? He put a bit too much aftershave on. Why do you keep banging on about it?
You would think at this point that they would be like, you know, he's harping on this stuff and we always rag him for it, but it always ends up being relevant.
Yeah, let's just pay attention and learn from him.
Yeah.
No,
we're just going to dismiss him despite his track record.
Yes.
And also, they discover that he has a word in classic whodunit fashion written on his hand.
Yes. This happened last season, didn't it?
It was a code, wasn't it?
A code, I don't...
In the final episode of last season, the victim had like a code, like 5 numbers and a letter on their palm. I can't remember what that was about.
But this is a similar thing.
Yeah, what word was it?
I don't know.
Blitzen, one of the reindeer.
The last reindeer.
Yes, one of the few tangible links to Crimbo.
Another unbelievable thing from this episode was that D.I. Mervin Wilson,
he
remembers all the reindeer. Who remembers all the reindeer?
Donna, Blitzen, Dasher, Prancer, Comet and Cupid and Rudolph.
You forgot Dancer.
No, I said Dancer and Prancer.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
let the tape show.
I think you missed some, and also you didn't do them in the correct order like he did.
Well, yeah, you didn't say I had to remember them in the order.
Dasher and Dancer and Comet and Cupid and Donna and Blitzen and...
You see, I have to remember them because I used to be a Santa.
Right.
Ex-professional Santa right here. That's backstory you don't get normally. So that was kind of our victim that we discovered early doors. So shall we run through the suspects?
Yes, suspect number 1 is Helen Dugdale. She is the owner of the business.
Dugdale stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have her son, Neil Dugdale, who we're just going to call the owner's son, but I'm fairly sure he was like a finance guy. Their job roles were really hard to pick up because they like rattled through them really quick, and I can't make notes that quick.
It's actually because it was unimportant.
Well, yeah. Spoiler.
I know, it's a small business and most of them are executives.
Yeah. And then we had Karen Hickson.
Yeah.
An employee.
Yeah.
Gavin, never caught his surname, graphic designer, I think.
employee. He and Karen are in a relationship.
Yes. And then we have the absent Ashley Sims, ex-employee.
Yes, she's gone missing.
And then we've got Marjorie, the receptionist, who's in the UK.
With Selwyn.
Chumming up with Selwyn.
Yeah. I thought, when we were meeting Marjorie, that Selwyn was going to be so grateful for all her help that he would treat her to a trip to San Marie.
Well, we'll see how right you were.
I know.
I was convinced that they were going to be like, oh, look, he's going to have a romance. He's going to be human.
Oh, with Marjorie.
With old Margie.
Because he's meant to be seeing his daughter, but all the trains get cancelled.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's basically an indictment on British transport.
She spends a while saying how she's going to be alone for Christmas, and then he's like, see ya, I'm off to see my daughter. Trains are cancelled. And she's like, I thought the trains might be cancelled. I heard it on the radio, so I came back to get you.
And I'm like, wow, it's lonely people are us. I tell you what, Death in Paradise has never been one for its subtlety. The Means was an interesting one, this one,
yeah.
I thought, because he was shot, but no one's got a gun, and everyone says they were asleep.
Yeah, there's no gun at the crime scene.
So,
and people didn't wake up, and they claimed to be asleep, and they seem quite believable.
And they have explained in the narrative of the episode that there was only one way of accessing this place, and that was the front door because of the inaccessible other three sides of the building.
Yeah.
So it could only have been the people in the building.
Yes, because the CCTV shows that no one else entered.
Assuming that he wasn't sniped, but I think they identified that it was a pistol, and it's very difficult to snipe someone with a pistol. Mm-hmm. Gavin, the employee who's in a relationship with Karen, was the nearest person to where the body was found, because he was in a hammock, drunk off his face, apparently.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't hear nothing. Yeah, and that's kind of it.
So really, in theory, they would all have... In fact, none of them have means, do they? Because none of them have a gun.
Yeah, so it's like they were there, but there is no gun.
Yeah, and then the police are sort of thinking, well, in that case, any of them could have had a gun. If none of them have one, then any of them could have, and then disposed of it.
I enjoyed your note that you put on here, just to peek behind the curtain, that says, complicated by future evidence.
Well...
I'm like, isn't it always?
Yeah.
So I guess we ought to go through each person's motive.
Yeah.
Such as it was set up. So... do you want to lead off with Helen, our erstwhile business owner of Dugdale Associates?
Yes.
I'm going to just name this all sorts of different... Dugdales!
Isn't that a different company?
I'm just going to
a real one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Awkward. Anyway.
Yeah. So she's dodge, in my opinion.
Why is she dodge, Liv?
Because she didn't invite Marjorie on the company outing.
Right.
One more person. She's like, oh, we couldn't afford it. One more person.
We couldn't afford it in this incredibly tight budget that we have for taking everyone to the Caribbean for Christmas at the last minute.
Exactly. Anyway, motive-wise, seemingly when we first meet her, no motive. And as we go through the episode, we do discover a few things.
Yeah.
She's certainly been on edge since the police arrived at
shifty.
the villa. Yeah. And they discover that she has an ulterior motive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which was bloody obvious, wasn't it? Because, again, why would you take your staff to San Marie for a Christmas party?
Because she's so benevolent, except for the receptionist, who she obviously hates.
But, yeah, we then find out that Ashley, the employee that no longer works there, sent a video seemingly from San Marie, and she nicked all the money, the £500,000.
Yes, it turns out that she was a thefty person and
Yeah.
had previously been
Reformed,
in prison.
yes.
And Helen's deceased husband had given her a chance because he was a kind-hearted soul.
Yeah, and it was his business. So she has gone to San Marie to try and track Ashley down and get her money back.
Yeah, so this is all a front.
Yes.
To get...
And she finds this fisherman who had something to do with the lodgings that they were staying in.
Yeah.
I think he was managing the property.
It seemed a bit vague. Like, I acquired a fisherman.
Yeah. So she had contacted the victim to ask about Ashley and
Right.
when she was last on the island. And he had told her that Ashley had been staying in that same villa and had left 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And she was trying to get him to arrange a meeting between her and Ashley.
That's right.
But when they got there, he revealed that she'd moved on a few days ago.
Yeah.
And Helen is adamant no one else knows about this.
Yeah.
They are all taken in by my ruse of a generous Christmas holiday.
Yeah, and in terms of motive to killing this guy, seemingly no motive. Like,
No.
what motive would you have other than that he's let her down?
Yeah.
But that doesn't really...
So she's sus, but not enough to give any credible reason for gunning him down.
Yeah.
We then move on to Ashley Sims, the ex-employee who nicked 500 grand.
The idea being that, she
was
said...
covering her tracks.
Okay, yeah.
Like he was being hired to sort of track her down or negotiate, and maybe there was a fallout and she didn't want to. I don't know.
He contacted her and said, this woman wants a chat, and she was like, what are you doing telling people where I've been?
Yeah, it gets a bit more complicated because in classic fashion, she's vanished.
Yes.
So she arrived on the island only 2 months ago, and no record of her leaving, and there's been no trace of her from anyone for a few weeks. She's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, at which point I was thinking, well, she's clearly dead.
Dead.
So, therefore, not a suspect.
Seems unlikely. It's very difficult to shoot someone when you're 6 feet under. But we'll get to that. Let's talk about Helen's son.
I didn't like him.
Nigel Dugdale. No. Why didn't you like him?
Oh, I felt like he was entitled.
Well, he was mostly going, why are you spending all this money, Mum? This seems stupid.
Yeah, I don't know, there was something smarmy about him.
Owner's son, nepotism and all that. I thought he seemed all right to me.
Well, he nicked £100,000.
Well, I suppose there's an
money.
argument, yeah, because they discover, like, hang on, he sent 100 grand back to the UK, but only yesterday.
So, apart from the fact that he was already a suspect because he was one of the only people in the house, the police are now very suspicious. Where did you get this money from?
And he's like, it's all right, I stole it from the victim.
Yeah.
I know that sounds bad, but let me explain. My defence is that was our money. So he followed his mum because he was suspicious of
her
their trip.
suspicious behaviour.
Yes. And so he does what all good sons are, and he tailed his mum. And then when his mum and the victim separated after chatting, he just let himself into the victim's home. So he's like, my defence is I broke into his house and stole a load of money.
More entitlement.
Yes. And he's found this 100 grand in
Sterling.
Cash and went, that'll be ours then, and just took it. And
even though he had £500,000 stolen and he's only found £100,000.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same money?
Maybe not. I mean, he's very snobbish and elitist going, well, this fisherman won't have 100 grand.
Yeah,
He doesn't anymore.
No.
I nicked it. And he doesn't help his case by his choice of aftershave. Because his aftershave matches the aftershave that the victim's body was doused in.
Yeah.
And that only encourages Mervin to be like, see, stinky aftershave, I'm on to something.
Yes.
And it was like, will you stop talking about the aftershave? But yeah, I mean, apart from all of that, hard to nail it on it because he still doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, but in theory, he could have acquired that money a different way.
By holding someone up with the gun that he doesn't have yet.
From this guy, the victim.
So far, I'd say he is the most incriminated.
The victim comes back to get his money.
Well, yes, that was...
And what's his name? Nigel shoots him down. He ain't having it back. I've already wired it to the UK.
That's no way to go, is it? To be robbed and gunned down by a Nigel. Just, it feels like undignified.
Yeah, well, but that would be a motive.
Well, moving on to much more stable people. Karen.
Really? You think she's stable?
No, I was being ironic. Karen Hickson. So she's dating Gavin, the graphic. Why can't I say that? Graphic designer.
The other employee that is not the owner's son.
Yes, that's easier to say.
His job title really doesn't play any...
Yes, but I figured out what it was, and so I was pleased.
Right.
It's the only one other than owner, that's the one that I could hang my hat on. He's the guy that puts all of the customised pictures on all of the apparel.
Right.
So she's dating Gavin, like we said, and she, it turns out, sent threatening messages to Ashley, the vanished...
The missing employee.
The ex-employee, yes, because Gavin and Ashley previously had a, and I air quotes, thing, and she wanted to see her off.
Implying that he was cheating on her.
Was that the implication? I thought that was before they got together.
Oh, I thought there was cheating going on.
My understanding was that it was just before those two got together.
But he's completely obsessed with her.
Well, it turns out the mum and son rat her out, or him out, and just go, no, he was obsessed. Obsessed. Stalkery levels obsessed.
I think Karen knew this.
Well, no, I think Karen knew that, but she was just saying, oh, they had a thing. It was just me trying to see her off. And the Helen and Nigel go and tell the team, like, no, actually, he was obsessed with her. It's more than she's making out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really help us with a motive for the actual victim here.
That's a very good point. Maybe she didn't want Gavin to be connected to Ashley again. She was threatened again, and so she killed him to prevent a reunion between her boyfriend and his ex.
Or there's no motive for her.
Or that. It feels
they
like...
don't really present us with a motive.
It feels like they're sort of erring on bitches be crazy.
Yeah.
Is like to put it in those terms. But yeah. Well, that moves us neatly on to Gavin, G-Dog. Graphic designer extraordinaire.
Who you're obsessed with being a graphic designer.
He's a graphic designer, allegedly.
Yes.
We don't see him do any graphic design, so I'm not sure it's true.
He also doesn't really have a motive here.
He was obsessed with Ashley.
He was obsessed with Ashley, but not the fisherman.
True. However, they do catch him draining the pool in the villa, having broken into the crime scene.
True.
To look for...
And Mervin seemed to know that he was going to be there as well.
Yeah, either that or Mervin's really good at just being like, this unexpected thing, I'm going to act like I knew it was going to happen all along. Aha! But what's he looking for in the pool?
Well, they don't know.
But he eventually tells them.
He's looking for a bullet, okay?
A used, spent bullet.
Yeah.
But he's got a perfectly reasonable explanation for this, Your Honour. And that is that it was a memento of when he and Ashley went shooting with the gun that is in her drawers in the office. We didn't mention that, did we? No. They eventually bust open the drawer in the UK. Selwyn gets the drawer open, and there's a gun in there, and somehow they determined that was the gun that killed our victim.
Yes, that's right. They do ballistics, don't they?
Yeah, and...
really quickly over Christmas.
Yeah, without taking it away from the scene.
So the gun that Selwyn finds in the missing employee's drawer in the UK...
Thousands of miles away.
...is the murder weapon for the fisherman found in the pool in San Marie.
What?
Yes, and so now Gavin is searching for a bullet... Yep. In the pool where the dead guy is.
Which is a memento of when he and Ashley went shooting in the woods with a gun that she was looking after for her friend in prison.
Yeah.
Which is the one that shot the guy.
This episode is more convoluted, I think, because they had an hour and a half to play with.
Yeah, they were like, we got an extra half hour. We are going to have to pad this.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like, I know this looks bad because I'm looking for a spent bullet, but it's not the spent bullet. It's just a coincidence, and I dropped it in the pool in the kerfuffle.
And I knew what you'd think.
So I was doing it on the sly, which definitely doesn't make me look dodge.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he's big brain time.
And then the only other character in this is the receptionist, Marjorie, because she's in the UK with Selwyn.
Yeah, so it seems unlikely that that's... What I did think it was important to note was with Gavin, our graphic designer, we see, rings or calls Ashley's phone and says, oh yeah, they've been talking about this, that and the other, we really ought to talk. So it seems like he's pretty convinced she's alive, which does rather put pay to the whole she's dead theory.
Yeah. Can't be right all the time, eh?
No, just some of the time. The opportunity is another thing that's really unclear in this one. Because, again, like the means, Everyone was in the villa, but the gun was in the UK.
Yeah, because they've got the timestamp of 5:30 in the morning of him going in. So they know it happened after then. And as you said, the gun is in the UK. So how on earth did that happen?
I know I suggested it could have been a snipe, but even with a proper sniper rifle, you ain't getting it from the UK to St. Marie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of a puzzler, this one. A little bit harder to piece together. Very implausible, I think. So we've got key evidence.
Yeah.
Aftershave smell on the body.
Yes.
You got anything else?
What about the body?
No, just more evidence.
Well, yes, the gun is in the office in the UK, but there is talk throughout the episode of the fisherman himself getting a gun because
Yes.
he was worried for his life.
But that's complicated by the fact that the ballistics say that it was the gun in the UK that shot him.
Yeah, but he did have a gun, so there's sort of two guns being talked about here.
We've got Blitzen written on the
Yeah.
guy's hand, which is a complete mystery for like 90% of this episode.
Yeah. We have all of the money, the 500,000 that was stolen and the 100,000 that was recovered and sent back to the UK.
Yeah, so why is that guy got 100,000?
Yeah,
of it?
where's
How's
the
that
other
happened?
400?
Has he been bought off in some way and there's been a double, triple, quadruple cross or something? There's the threatening text to Ashley from Karen, which might be some sort of evidence.
For something, but not to
Yeah.
do with the fisherman's death.
And Nigel's obsession with Ashley.
Again.
Ashley is at the centre of this, but she's conspicuous by her absence.
Yeah.
So do you want to lay out what the solution is?
Sure thing. Now, it feels like this shouldn't be the solution. That's what I'm going to say.
It was Selwyn the Duck from Beyond Paradise. No?
Well, no. Marjorie did it, the receptionist.
But Liv, she was in the UK with Selwyn,
Yeah.
as was the gun. Wait, hang on, that's where the gun was.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Well, here's how it went.
Please explain
The
to me.
story starts a little while before the cameras rolled.
Buckle up, listeners.
She resented being taken for granted,
As you would.
and I can see why. Yeah. Ashley had stolen the 500,000,
Ashley is the
Felt-
ex-employee.
felt bad, and returned it to the office. She brought it back, was going to put it in her desk drawer, I think.
I think she was trying to put it in the owner's drawer.
I don't know.
don't know.
Anyway, she was in the office, and Marjorie had been asked to go in at the weekend to fix someone else's problem, so she wasn't even supposed to be there.
I wasn't supposed to be there.
And she caught Ashley, and she pushed her. Ashley fell back, whacked her head on the desk, and died.
Because Marjorie went to phone the police, and Ashley tried to stop her, and there was a kerfuffle.
Yeah.
And as is always the way in all of these shows, the person gets pushed over and smacks their head and dies.
Instantly.
Instant.
And so instead of phoning the police or an ambulance, she panics and decides to steal the money, the 500,000 that was returned,
And put her in a bin?
and put her in her back garden.
Ah, pushing up daisies.
So Selwyn's been in that back garden quite a lot over the Christmas holidays.
Which sounds like a euphemism, but it's not.
And then, so now she's got £500,000.
Lovely.
She goes to San Marie in the Caribbean, something she's always wanted to do.
And, but she goes as Ashley.
Yeah, because with all the apparel, she's able to just make a passport
Yeah,
with
she
her
was like,
face
oh,
and
yeah.
Ashley's name.
Oh yeah, we've got all the gear at the shop. It was easy to make a fake passport. I'm like,
I'd like to know which airport she flew from.
I mean, to be fair, if I could see it at San Marie Airport.
Yeah, but leaving the UK.
I know. It's the least plausible thing about this whole episode. Just waving away, like, oh yes,
I just made one.
and we see it, and it is perfect.
But, you know, what about all of the encryption that's in them these days?
Nah, you can. That's really easy to do. She's picked it all
What
up.
about the data chip?
Imagine if it actually turned out that the Dugdale Associates or whatever it was a massive front for like forgery.
That's the only way this would make
That
sense.
would- that's the whole side story that's left implicit. It's just a massive fencing.
Oh, because Ashley had made a video, hadn't she? She'd gone to Bournemouth Beach and made a sorry video.
saying, "Oh yeah, I'm really sorry. I feel guilty, so I'm going to give you the money."
Yeah,
back.
so with the flight details, Marjorie makes it look like instead of being at Bournemouth, she's at Saint Marie and had already escaped to the Caribbean.
Which kicks off all of this confusion, and then she, when she's there, pretends to our victim that she is Ashley.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think she does.
Well, why did the victim ring her to say, oh, there's been some complications?
I think you're right.
I am right. Because ultimately, once the crew rock up to Saint Marie and Helen starts telling the victim all of the stuff that's been going on, he sort of gets paid 100 grand by Marjorie, brackets, Ashley, fake Ashley, to keep him quiet, and he starts to feel suspicious.
Well, I think actually, yes, he gets paid off by her, like, tell people that you saw me and then now I've gone, if anyone ever asks. And then the business owner goes and questions him and shows him a photo, and he's like, oh, that's not the person.
Yeah.
So he keeps up the story, then he feels bad.
So he calls who he thinks is Ashley, but is actually Marjorie. And that rather seals his fate, because she goes, quick, to Saint Marie!
Yeah. So she flies to Saint Marie, asks him, begs him, in fact, to keep her secret. He says no. She finds the gun that he got to protect himself and shoots him in the shoulder.
And then legs it with the gun.
Cleans up his apartment. She thinks he's dead. I don't know.
Yeah, and then flies back to the UK, presumably taking the gun with her.
You can't get that through customs.
But then it must have been, she must have, because that's the gun that shot him.
No. Oh, do you not remember this?
Oh, they swapped bullets, didn't
Yeah.
they? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. So she, well, let's say, throws that gun into the ocean.
Right.
Goes back to the UK in time for Selwyn to arrive.
Right, yes.
And phones Gavin, who is obsessed with Ashley, pretending to be Ashley, and says, I know this is crazy, but... Oh, wait, no, she must find out that the body's now... She thinks, she leaves him in his apartment. He then gets up because he's not dead, cleans himself up, thinks, I've just been shot in the shoulder. He's ex-Marine or something.
And he's put disinfectant on the wound.
Yeah. He's not fussed by being shot in the shoulder.
Well,
so he's on his way to the hospital, and he has to walk past the villa where they're all staying. So he's like, do you know what? I'm just going to call in
I'm
and
actually
say hi.
fine. I'm just going to pop in and explain to them what's happened.
Yeah. And while he's there, he passes out and dies.
He steps through the door and goes, oh, I'm actually dying.
Yeah. And so then Marjorie gets the call to say, there's a dead guy.
Yes, because she's been catfishing, basically, Gavin the whole time since she accidentally murders Ashley and then goes, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep the money, and for a laugh, I'm going to keep texting Gavin and wind him up.
Pretend.
Yeah. And then so he messages her to go, holy shit, some guy's turned up dead, because he actually wakes up and...
That's right.
And he sees him keel over.
Yeah.
And she basically then pretends to be Ashley and says, oh, you're just going to have to go with me on this, but you really need to set the scene.
So then this starts off an elaborate chain of events where he takes his shirt off, removes all the bandages, douses him in aftershave to cover the smell of the disinfectant.
Which is the first thing you'd think about, right?
Yeah, not using his own aftershave.
No, well, he had to certainly find his boss's son's aftershave.
Yeah. Burns a hole in his shirt at the precise location where the bullet's gone through to make it look like he was wearing that shirt when he was shot.
And that's when he swaps. Luckily, he happens to have a spent bullet with him.
Well, it's his token memento, isn't it?
What narratively convenient.
So he digs out the bullet that was actually in his shoulder, the victim's shoulder, and replaces it with his memento bullet.
But in the process drops
the actual...
Yeah. And then decides, do you know what I'm going to do? Going to balance him on a lilo, because this isn't hard enough.
Delicately places him on a lilo.
And then goes back to napping.
Throws himself back in the hammock to pretend he's asleep.
I was asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
All because he's obsessed.
The gun in the UK looks like it shot him, because it's the bullet from that one. And the gun that's at the bottom of the ocean the bullet from that is now in the pool drain.
Which I know you have to make some leaps of credibility for a lot of these stories, but I feel like the whole, like, oh yeah, one of the people here happens to just carry around a spent bullet from a gun that just so happens to be really convenient at the exact moment that the unplanned that the murderer needs. It just feels like it's straining credibility at just too far for me.
I would also argue that our difficulty in explaining what happened highlights the convoluted nature of the plan.
Oh, it's not because we're thick. As much, I'll be the first one to admit if I'm being dense. It's not because we're dense. This is just really
so many
tortured.
layers of stuff going on.
Yeah, and it turns out, right, part of all of the discovery, like, we haven't mentioned the word Blitzen in this solution.
Oh, God,
because
yeah.
D.I. Wilson is looking at a giant billboard that Seb's had made to search for Ashley.
Yeah,
the whole side
Seb
thing.
to the rescue once
And he goes, oh, look, it's all blown up now. And you can see it says Blitzen written on the side of that boat.
The ship in the background of her video.
Yes, and it turns out part of the reason that our victim was getting suspicious was he, being a fisherman, had looked at that ship and gone, hang on, I'm going to look into that ship. And he figured out that at the time the video was taken, that ship was actually off of Brighton Beach. Bournemouth Beach. And so that is also what D.I. Wilson discovers. And he goes, that wasn't filmed in San Marie. She never came to San Marie.
Yeah.
And it's all like, all right, sure. And so the first thing he did was write it on his hand.
Yeah. I'm just going to go back to our key evidence, make sure we've got it all. Aftershave, tick. Gun in the UK, tick. Blitzen, yes. £100,000. Well, that's self-explanatory, really, isn't it? Threatening texts to Ashley from Karen. They didn't play a part in it, really. And Nigel's obsession. Wasn't it Gavin's obsession?
Yes, Gavin's obsession. I kept getting Gavin and Nigel. They're both really banal names.
Okay.
That guy.
So that did play a part because that was his reason for helping Ashley, which was actually Marjorie. So instead of helping the woman he's obsessed with, he accidentally helped her murderer.
And gets arrested for his trouble for perverting the course, obstructing the course of justice.
Yeah.
And Marjorie gets arrested by...
Selwyn?
Well, sort of. He's not actually a police officer, so he just sort of talks to her until the police get there.
Yeah. Gets her confession.
So he spent Christmas with a murderer.
Yes, he did.
Good on you, Selwyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had it be a bit sinister where she was holding a knife and he sort of talked her down. But
to be fair, though, this whole ordeal does remind him that he loves police work. And subplot-wise, at the very end of the episode, he phones the head commissioner and asks for his job back.
Yeah, so we're left in suspense as to whether he's coming back. What I thought was really telling...
I don't think we're left in suspense.
He might not get it.
He will, though. Anyway.
What I thought was really pointed about this Christmas episode was that it was very little Christmassiness.
The most Christmas stuff was Selwyn.
I guess.
Like being stuck in the UK, the trains are all cancelled, the replacement bus service is cancelled.
They made a thing about Mervin asking or telling Seb that he needed to do a load of investigating on Christmas Day, and everyone's like, on Christmas Day! And Mervin's like, I don't like Christmas.
Yeah, and yet no one really had
Bar
any
humbug.
plans.
Yeah. Like, Naomi gets her doorbell rung a few times and she's just in her pyjamas not doing anything, which to be fair sounds amazing.
Well, I suppose early on in the episode she had been due to fly back to her family.
And he was like, yep, not happening.
She had to cancel the flights, yeah.
We get that on-running theme of she finds him really annoying and he's just being him.
But he does make it up to them at the end.
By giving them turkey and stuffing
sandwiches. He drags
sandwiches.
the TV outside in front of the ocean. Why
Yes.
would you look at the TV when there's the ocean right there?
Because there's the Great Escape movie, and it's that theme of going, look, I like the British things, and the San Marie people going, what is this crap?
But it's more character development for Mervin, isn't it? Because he says throughout foster care, no matter where he was living when he was a child, every Christmas he watched The Great Escape, and so that became his home.
I'm just finding it hard to connect with Mervin, because he just seems like a miserable shit.
Yeah, he is quite miserable.
Yeah. But then I didn't really like the first DI, Ben Miller's DI, because he was a miserable shit as well.
I liked him.
You see, I didn't. He was probably him and Mervin are up there with my least favourite DIs.
Oh.
Yeah. But then you and I are always different.
We've only seen Mervin for one series. He might cheer up now that he's staying.
Yeah, maybe.
Because most of the last season was him, is he going, is he staying, is he going, is he staying? That was a bit annoying. So he's definitely staying now.
Yeah.
So that might allow for more development.
Maybe. We'll have to see. We are going to cover this season, so we'll find out. I'm just glad that it looks like Selwyn is back, because I was gutted he was leaving.
Yeah. Don't forget also there was a nativity, which was a bit Christmassy.
Which was basically a avenue for Darlene to phone in and shout at Mervin.
Oh yeah, Darlene wasn't really in this episode, was she? She was on the
miss
phone
her.
a bit.
I didn't miss her.
No, I didn't.
No. Seb is my favourite
I like
of the
Seb.
crew.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could replace Marlon, but boy is he fun.
Yeah.
I like Seb.
Yeah.
I like that they keep making him sort of like naively and charmingly really good at policing.
Accidentally.
But
great.
everyone but then Mervin shouts at him and then has to go, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's a trope, isn't it, now, of him doing something that seems really silly, but it cracks the case.
Yes.
Every
Also,
time.
in this episode, Mervin is doing the stuff with the nativity. He's narrating it because it's supposed to be Selwyn, but he's on holiday. And he gets called away because of stuff, other development stuff with his brother. And so Seb gets up and basically repeats everything that
better.
Mervin just did, but better, more
Yeah.
funny, more engaging.
Just being a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the episode. So how would you rate this episode?
Do you know, despite the convoluted nature of some of the parts, I did like it. And I also kind of like that it was an hour and a half, because that makes it feel more special.
Okay.
So I'm giving it 8 out of 10.
So now, just to check,
That is from 0.
it's from 0, so this doesn't have the artificial 5 is the minimum that
No,
Oak
it has
Island
to
does.
work for every point that it gets.
Wow, so you gave it a really solid one.
I did like it.
I have a slightly different take. I'm giving it a deeply underwhelming 2 mystery bullets out of 7.
Are you really?
Yeah, it wasn't Christmassy. It was dragged out. It was deeply implausible, even for Death in Paradise, and it lacked any of the fun. The only thing that gave it more than a 1 is that it had Selwyn in it, and he was fun.
Yeah. I suppose I can forgive it a lot, but the passport thing really is an issue.
I'm not engaging with this DI as much, so
So all your scores are going to be lower across the board.
I think it drags it down for me, just
That's
because
a
I don't
shame.
like him as much.
Yeah.
But, you know, Seb's there, so that pulls it up. Seb and Selwyn, you know. But yeah, 2 out of 7.
Oh my goodness.
But the only
They're the
way
2
is
that
up.
I didn't give it.
Yes. The only way is up, Mervin.
Anyway, Death in Paradise seems to start at the end of January.
At the end of January, early February, not sure yet.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But catch up with us next week as we get deep into the Oak Island mystery some more.
Yep.
See who you're going to shout at this week.
No, that's not... Anyway,
And on that note, that's all, folks.
thank you so much for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Toodles!